There are already tons of tier lists out there ranking kages from weakest to the strongest. This one is going to be a little bit different. Instead of just focusing on their raw power and battle abilities, we're going to also consider their leadership skills and their tenure as a whole. That's why this list will rank them from worst to best, rather than weakest to strongest. Let us begin. Starting from number 27, the first one on our list is Rasa, the fourth Kage of the Hidden Sand Village. He foolishly allied himself with Orochimaru for the sake of destroying the Leaf Village and stacking resources, only to get betrayed and murdered along with his guards. Imagine allying yourself with a wanted criminal for utilitarian purposes. No other Kage in the story has endangered his village's safety to such an extent. He even had Pakura, an S-tier ninja, killed because her existence threatened his rule. Additionally, his treatment of his son, Gaara, was terrible. No wonder he regretted his actions after being reanimated. In simpler words, a Kage is someone who sees the big picture and takes the optimal steps to ensure their village's survival and prosperity. Rasa trusted Orochimaru and got himself killed. If Gaara hadn't become the next Kazekage when he did, the Hidden Sand Village would have gotten invaded and taken over by another village. At number 26, we have the fourth Mizukage, Yagura Karatachi. He is the reason why the Hidden Mist Village became known as the Blood Mist. Under his rule, children had to fight to the death just to graduate. No wonder so many promising ninjas were always defecting from the hellhole he had created. It all makes sense though. He was Obito's puppet. The Mist Village took Rin from Obito, and in return, he manipulated their Kage and turned their village into a literal hell. But let's not forget that it was still the Blood Mist, even before Obito took over. At number 25, we'll put the third Mizukage. He accompanied the first Mizukage to the first ever 5 Kage summit as his bodyguard. But while the bodyguards of the other 4 Kages became the second Kage of their respective villages, he didn't become the second. He became the third Kage of his village. This in turn puts him below all the other bodyguards like Tobirama, the second Raikage, Mu, and the second Kazekage. We also can't put him above actually relevant Kages, so this rank seems fitting. After him we have the sixth Mizukage, Chojuro, at number 24. As the former Mizukage's retainer and one of the 7 swordsmen of the Mist, he was the optimal candidate for the position of the sixth Mizukage. Although his personality doesn't suit his role of being a Kage, he is a humble and self-conscious man who always seems out of place in the 5 Kage summits. But for what it's worth, he has done a phenomenal job of boosting the village's economy and infrastructure. He has made it almost unrecognizable compared to what it was in the Naruto era. Just goes to show that even a fodder tier Kage is still a Kage. At number 23, we have the second Kazekage Shimon. He formally began researching the Jinchuriki to find ways to enhance his village's battle power and promoted the use of puppets to reduce the loss of human lives. At the very least, this made him more useful and resourceful than Rasa. Moving on to number 22, we have the fourth Tsuchikage Kurotsuchi. She is Onoki's granddaughter, and her lava-style ninjutsu is really impressive. She also has utmost confidence in her skills, which often makes her come across as arrogant and audacious. In fact, a little too audacious. For example, in Shikamaru Shinden, there is a plot line regarding when she withdrew from the Shinobi Union. It was a rather bold and pretty questionable risk. At number 21, we have the fifth Raikage Darui. After Naruto and Gaara, he is the best one of the new Gen Kages. He is strong enough to use Black Lightning. His dynamic with the previous Raikage was legendary, and he was mature enough to defend Naruto when Naruto was late to the 5 Kage meeting. He is strong, laid back, and always chill, as expected of someone who leads the village hidden in the clouds. Rank number 20 and 19 is shared by 2 Kage, the second Mizukage, Gengetsu Hozuki, and the second Tsuchikage, Mu. They were both rivals, and ultimately ended up killing each other. Although they were incredibly strong, their actions were rather silly considering their status as Kage. Overall, they were brilliant during the 4th Great Ninja War. Next at number 18, we have the second Raikage. After Tobirama, he is the best of the second generation Kages. The 4th data book states that he was a visionary with deep political knowledge. He was friendly and intelligent. In fact, the Hidden Cloud Village's strength can be attributed to the foundations he laid during his tenure. At number 17, we have the 3rd Kazekage. Considering how he was hailed as the strongest Kazekage even decades after his death, we can reasonably consider him as the 2nd strongest Kazekage of all time. He was literally able to create his own version of the One-Tail's unique abilities. No wonder even Sasori had so much trouble killing him. While strength isn't everything, it is important, especially when it comes to objectively weak villages like Hidden Sand. Moving on to rank 16 to 13, we'll give this spot to the founding fathers of the other 4 villages. That's right, the first Raikage, the first Kazekage, the first Mizukage, and the first Tsuchikage will all share the same rank. Their significance is phenomenal because they literally founded entire villages. However, because we know so little about them, we can't put them any higher. At number 12, we have the 4th Raikage A. In Sasuke Shinden, it is revealed that he ultimately forgave Sasuke for kidnapping Killer B and taking his arm. When you compare this to the temperament and compassion of some of the other Kages, the 4th Raikage is a saint. He may appear hot-headed, but all of his actions make perfect sense within within the context of the story. When it comes to his competence, he is as good as Killer Bee and also the fastest Raikage of all time. After him, we have the 5th Mizukage Mei Terumi at number 11. She is the one who cleaned up the mess after Yagura's cruel reign ended and made the Mist Village actually livable. She worked tirelessly reforming internal policies and recreating diplomatic relations with other villages. A genuinely underrated and overall brilliant Kage in every sense of the word. At number 10, we have the 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze. Remember, this video is not about the strongest or weakest, but based on how good of a Kage that individual was overall. So, Minato is a legendary ninja who almost single-handedly ended the Third Great Ninja War, but his reign was too short for him to accomplish anything major. However, the way he protected the Leaf Village from the Nine Tails on that night is befitting of his title as the Yellow Flash of the Leaf. At number 9, we have the 3rd Raikage A. It was stated that he is the greatest Raikage the Hidden Cloud Village has ever had. Whether he was stronger than Minato is debatable, but as a Kage, he was the best one to have ever come out of his village. His death is also quite dramatic considering how he died while facing 10,000 enemy ninjas in a battle for 3 consecutive days and nights. At number 8, we have the 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki. He is Hiruzen from a different universe. He signed a peace treaty with the 3rd Hokage, and although he had his fair share of underworld dealings, he was among the rare few Kage who understood the assignment and changed their ways. Having realized that his dealings with the underworld, among other things, only brought corruption and instability, he dedicated his life to making amends. For example, he once betrayed Hidden Mist, which resulted in a tragedy, and when he realized how he had wronged them, he personally went to the Land of Water and apologized. His old age became his redemption arc, a brilliant man whom even Madara himself acknowledged. Alright, we're down to the top 7, and rank 7 and 6 is also shared by 2 people. The 5th Hokage Tsunade Senju, and the 6th Hokage Kakashi Hatake. Tsunade did a phenomenal job despite given control at the time when the village was most unstable. Her medical ninjutsu saved more lives than we can count. She didn't care about throwing a village elder across the room, which also makes her a great leader, the one who is sure about her convictions. Plus, the way she handled the pain invasion shows what a multi-layered leader she is, the one who properly understands the responsibility she is given. Even when she was leaving things to Naruto, her reasoning still made sense. Now, the reason Kakashi is placed on the same rank as her is because although he stepped in at times of peace, he is also the one who helped the Leaf Village recover after the 4th Great Ninja War. He handled foreign trade and diplomatic connections with a level-headedness, and was always ready to negotiate if it was in his village's best interests. Moving on to rank 5, we have the 2nd Hokage Tobirama Senju. His prejudice against the Uchiha is questionable, but his realism and vision is what gave the Leaf Village an edge over the other villages. He was the one who created the Anbu, the academy system, the Chunin exams, and even the mission system. He basically built the shinobi world from scratch, which even other villages eventually ended up following. Plus, he created both the Flying Thunder God technique and the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Imagine creating the signature techniques of 2 future Hokages. That's what he did. He made sure that Hiruzen survives, so that there is someone who can lead the next generation. At number 4, we have the 5th Kazekage Gaara. The fact that despite being the youngest Kage ever, Gaara was able to bring stability to his village, after the horrible state it was in, is already on par with how Tsunade managed the Leaf after the Pain invasion. Do note that he was still hated and feared by his people, so it must have taken a lot of effort before they all warmed up to him. His speech to the Allied forces was legendary, and the idea that he became the commander of the Allied ninja forces simply speaks how capable of a leader he was. He is intelligent, level-headed, charismatic, inspirational, and basically an alternate reality Naruto. Easily the greatest Kage to have ever come out of the other 4 villages. Now, we're down to the top 3, and these just go without saying. At number 3, we have the 3rd Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi. The way Naruto parallels Gaara, Hiruzen parallels Onoki. He was the teacher of the legendary Sannin, and the world hailed him as the god of shinobi, which makes perfect sense because he won every war he fought. Yes, he has his faults, and he lets people get away with too much. But as the Hokage with the longest tenure, it is only expected that he sometimes makes bad decisions. But let's not forget that in addition to winning the ninja wars, his rule also leads to the longest period of peace in the Leaf Village's history. There is a reason why he was hailed as the strongest Kage of his era, and was stated superlative to even Hashirama and Tobirama. Speaking of Hashirama, he is at number 2. As the first Hokage, he is the man who founded the Ninja World Order. This guy mainstreamed the philosophy of the Will of Fire, and laid down the foundations of the greatest ninja village in history. Even before becoming the Kage, he was an exemplary leader who fought for peace throughout his life. And of course, finally, at number 1, we have the 7th Hokage, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto is the greatest Kage ever because he achieved everything Hashirama hoped for. He is the man who truly exemplified the Will of Fire in every sense of the word. The world is finally at peace. And that's all. I still think Hiruzen might have been the greatest Kage of all time. I have already discussed why the mistakes made by Hiruzen Sarutobi Toby are actually wise decisions. So, click this video for more info.